Let's do it.
Well, come back to another episode of Wheel to Wheel. First and foremost, thanks for a great episode last week. We did some numbers for us, dude, for our
Dude.
mirror.
Yeah, it killed it.
175 last time I checked, which is very good for us
Yeah.
mirror content creators in this large scheme of British men talking about F1. So glad some people are enjoying the content. We're going to keep pushing it out the way we do. Get creative in the off season. Not really sure what that's going to be yet, but we'll figure it out. It's not going to be a big
We're
deal.
going to figure it out.
But we don't have to think about the off season. We got a couple more races. We just wrapped up Mexico. I watched the entire race. Interesting race. Not the most exhilarating race. I just felt like there was a lot of good fights throughout the field that they actually focused on instead of just, the main ones that are for title contention. I don't think... Give your reaction first, and then I'll dive into our standings.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was exciting. That atmosphere down there is awesome. It always is. So it's always a good race, but I wasn't it was racy. There was good racing moments. Opening lap was really exciting, but then, after that, it got spread out. And there was the Ferrari penalty for Lewis, which we'll get into, that I thought was kind of, but, is what it is. Overall, good race. Shout out Ollie Behrman, P4.
Yep, driver of the day. For sure, driver of the day. He drove so well. You got 1 point. You picked Lando getting pole. Besides that, 0 points across the board. You didn't give Charles enough credit. You said Charles was going to get third place. I guess you don't believe in your own team, which we don't need to get into that, dude. No, I'm kidding. But, so 6-2 now. You're up by 4. I can still swing it in one race, so I'm really not worried about it. Also, this is just fake because I was up 28-11 before this. I just want to remind everybody.
It's out there that I'm 0-1. This is just the press.
I know. I'm just kidding. Okay, so biggest conversation obviously coming out of this race is McLaren in the driver standings. We are now looking at Lando Norris up by 1 single point.
Crazy.
Oscar Piastri second, which is props to Oscar. I think Oscar had a tough beginning to the week. I bet he has to feel like the entire world is against him right now. There's no way you can be really feeling so good about yourself and so good about your team when it feels like the entire team wants Lando to win it. He's only down by 1. Drove a pretty good recovery race, in my opinion, to limit the points and limit the damage on his end. 1 point difference. Max is now 321. Oscar's 356. Lando's 357. Quick math, that puts Max 35 points behind. So that's still a big chunk. If there's a DNF from a McLaren...
Yeah, I mean, if there's a DNF in a bad race, I say that all the time. But a DNF in a bad race, Max is in it.
Yeah. So that's what's getting crazy about it. So we do, of course, we don't have a ton of races left, but we are eyeballing Brazil next, which makes me feel like there's a Verstappen win coming into play. But this is not a prediction video. This is a review video of the Mexican Grand Prix. So let's look at the finish again. Charles Leclerc, second place. Pretty dang good race for the kid. How are you feeling about Ferrari? I know you mentioned the Lewis Hamilton penalty. He ended up finishing 8th. What are your thoughts for the boys in red?
Yeah, good. I think I mentioned this last week, just that Lewis was like big on processes and people and stuff and kind of how he wanted the team to run. Seemed like they weren't really getting into it. Him and Charles both after the race Lewis said, like, we did make some changes. We changed a couple processes, whether it's how we go through practice or go through our reviews, stuff like that. Charles doubled down and said those processes worked. We're starting to get that stuff in check. So, I mean, bummer for Lewis. He had a great qualifying and race ruined, unfortunately, but he drove well. He got his elbows out, which is what got him the penalty, which, again, maybe that's a racing incident. Maybe. I think if you're going to throw a penalty in there, maybe give a penalty to the dude that threw the crazy dive bomb. Just saying.
It's some gray area, and I'm with you that there was some swings you're like, so this guy gets a penalty, but this guy doesn't. Like, are we really going to do that? It was him and Max, correct?
Right?
turn one, Max. I felt it was on Max, and I felt Max should have had to give some positions back, considering he basically cut the whole first corner after dive bombing and then went across the grass fully. It just felt a little bit like maybe this is on Verstappen, and I was a little shocked that Hamilton ended up getting hit with it.
Right. Basically, what they come back with is that Lewis gained a lasting advantage or something to that tune. And I don't really agree with that. It is what it is. He had to use the escape road, and oh well.
Oh well. You're getting a little fuzzy, Grant, but I don't think your audio is getting messed up, so we're just gonna rock with the internet figuring itself out. Little rainy day.
Keep rocking.
Is it a rainy day for you?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Oh yeah.
So team standings wise, now we're looking at Ferrari in P2, up by 1 point against Mercedes, who as a team I felt like had a pretty good drive. I know we've been kind of, I don't know if he's lost hype or it's more just the reality of the situation is kind of kicking in for, hey, this is a really tough sport for a rookie to be into. But Kimi had a really good race. For him, he finished sixth. George Russell finished seventh. So that's just kind of a look at, okay, maybe the car wasn't well suited for this track, but both drivers drove well and they finished within each other's, obviously within each other's gap. They're 6 and 7. So good for Kimi just to get a little bit more points, get the edge on George. George is clearly the number one driver. Sure. So it's not like there's a competition there, but it's just good to show the equality between the two drivers' skill levels. I think we can jump to Ollie Behrman now, who I don't know how he kept that thing in fourth place. I knew he wasn't going to be able to keep it in third. I knew Max was going to get him eventually. But fourth place finish in a Haas is crazy. I think they say it was the highest finish since what, like 20... I don't know.
Well, it tied their best finish of all time,
yeah.
Which I believe maybe was like it was early on in their career in the sport in general. So, I mean, good for him.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was an emotional deal. There's an interview of him after the race where he sees his family and just starts breaking down. That was kind of sick. Cool. I'm hyped for him.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I feel like he's flown very much so under the radar, not really doing anything huge, getting points every so often. Not every race, but race by race, he can be in the bottom of the points usually. So fourth place is sweet, man. I love to see the rookies have success, and I think every single rookie has shown their skill. Every single true rookie. We're looking at Ollie's driving well, Kimi's driving well, Bortoletto's been driving well. Of course, Hadjar's been driving well. And, I guess people consider Lawson a rookie, but he's not really. Franco's not really a rookie either.
I don't count. I think
Doohan was
Franco is less than a rookie. Yeah. Less of a rookie.
Yeah, I would agree, too. They had some drives last season. So, very cool, though. Young drivers on the horizon. We have a bunch of fresh faces that we'll just continue to make things interesting as they improve. Where the hell are they going to sub in for the big teams? It's going to be fun to see. Obviously, Haas is a funnel into Ferrari. Does he just casually take the Lewis spot, or does Ferrari dig for elite driver? We'll have to see. But okay,
how about your boys this week? How do you feel about this race?
Not a great week. It was just, I felt like, Sainz got contact early in the first turn, kind of messed with the whole situation. Alex tried to make the most of it. He got pissed off on the microphone, was not a fan of the strategy we were running with.
Hot mics.
Yeah, hot mics, which has been the thing this year, which I don't really care about it. Emotions run high when you're driving 150 miles an hour on a track, and you may not be super stoked on what's going on. The hards were not working, and we ran with the hards pretty early with Alex, and he was like, why are we doing this? To then have to switch back to the softs. We pitted way too much, and it just didn't give him a chance to even get close to feeling comfortable with the points. Somehow he finishes 12th still, but the gap to him and Yuki was massive. So it's not like he was creeping towards the points at all. But, the kid had a horrible race, and just the circumstances of what happened, both of them really did. And then he still somehow scraps it to 12th. So it does suck because the car is fast, and we know that the car is fast, and the car can actually place pretty well. But it has to be in a good position when it comes to the starting grid. And quality has not been our best in the past two races. Obviously, minus the sprint race last week where Carlos did great. But I'm not really worried. Williams
You're in the safe spot on
Yeah, we're in the safe
constructors.
spot. We have fifth locked in 111. Racing Bulls is 72. Does not look like they're going to be able to close that gap on us. Now at this point, it's more just like ego of I would love to see Alex Albon up on the podium.
Yep.
Carlos got on the podium.
I'll make the point too, even for driver standings for Williams, is like, okay, you've got what, Albon, he's an eighth. He's 30, 20, whatever. No, 32 points ahead of Nico. And then going down the grid right there, you're
close.
Nico 41, Isaac 39, Carlos 38, Fernando 37. So if Carlos gets a P6 and Nico is finishing in ninth place, your Williams boys are 8-9.
Yeah, so which I do agree that would be nice. We do have to touch on one thing. We did get called out last week for not being fair broadcasters. We didn't talk about Lance Stroll at all last race, and there was a comment that said, "What the hell, dude? Roll with Stroll. What's going on?" So of course we have to touch on Lance.
We got to talk about Lance Stroll.
I mean, he had a generational race. I think he was spinning out within the first lap in classic Lance Stroll style. Sometimes I look at these situations and I wonder, does Lance Stroll do this on purpose, or is this his true driving? I think he does it on purpose. You know, people think he grew up in satin sheets. I think he truly just wants to make it a little bit harder for himself to feel the struggle that most people have to go through in life. But he puts it upon himself to do it. He then drags the car to a clean 14th place, keeping it safe, keeping it chill. Driver standings, the guy is still 14th with 32 points. He's tied with Ollie Behrman, who had to almost get a podium just to mere sniff him. So, I mean, Lance Stroll's still having a pretty good year, which is hilarious. It's just he's such a yo-yo. We just don't know what we're going to get. It's kind of like the if anybody watches football, there's like the jokes of like the Nick Foles experience. Not Nick Foles. Carson Wentz experience you never know what you're going to get. Pat McAfee always talks about it. You never know what you're going to get with him. He's going to go for the touchdown, or he's going to do whatever, or he's going to throw 4 picks. It's like James Winston as well. So it's like, I feel like he's kind of that guy of it, but also everybody hates him. So it just, it's kind
he catches a lot of shade. I get it. I mean, you know, he's not my favorite guy. I don't like to see people crash on a formation lap, which he's pretty good at. If there was a all-star team for finishing outside the points, he'd probably be the captain.
Dude.
And you know, he had a good start to the year. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah,
he like finished like P5 the first 2 races or something. Dude, they're like, oh my God, he's having a season, and then just colossal crash.
But I'm saying he could literally scrape out a P4 next week, and then we would just glaze over it, truthfully. I think that could happen. You'd be like, holy shit, Lance Stroll, that's so cool, and then move on. And then you don't realize the kid just jumped to like 10th in the constructors and the drivers, and you're like, okay, what the heck's going on? So
fair enough. Yeah, I mean.
Hashtag roll with Stroll. We'll make sure to show some love. There is enough going on to talk about him. There's some guys like Alpine we haven't even I think I bring up the fact that we don't talk about Alpine every single podcast just to be like, dude, they suck so bad. And they still suck so bad. So
we just crap on their driver choice too. Like, you gonna give Doohan another chance?
Yeah, are you gonna? Because Franco's got 0 points still, bro.
Yeah.
Yikes, bro. Well, yeah, and then like, I don't know, dude. It's just a tough look. Hulkenberg also just feels like he's had the podium, and then he's gotten in the points a few times, but I feel like he's been relatively quiet since the podium.
He sneaks in there. I mean,
he sneaks in there. It could be the coverage being a little biased of anybody in orange and red, and I guess what is Red Bulls? I guess they're a black livery, a dark grayish blue. I don't even know what it is.
Navy,
cobalt, but cobalt gray probably, but that's kind of what we're working with. Moving forward, week out from Brazil. I don't want full predictions. This is just a recap. Do you have any other words about Mexico before you just make maybe a few comments about Brazil?
I guess closing thoughts on Mexico is kind of how I opened it. Great atmosphere. That crowd is always nuts.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So good stuff. I love that race. I feel like the track grows on me every year. I know it's not always like the best for racing, but it's pretty technical. There's some goofy turns in there, and I think it tests them. So I like it.
I would agree. I think from watching it purely for this hard, like how hard is the track for the racers, you could see guys just struggling with turns. Yeah. Straight up. They got no fight on it. They're just like, oh shit, I didn't brake in time for this one, which is fun. Yeah. That first turn is insane.
It's crazy.
It was so fun. I mean, the past two races, we've had two nutso turns just to open it.
Yeah.
So shit
Yeah. And
happens.
they were like 4 wide going into turn 1.
Yeah,
Like
two guys are
that's
freaking
awesome.
rallying, bumping their cars over the
Right.
ground.
It's great.
So it's fun. Past two races have been nice. A little back to back. 3 p.m. is kind of tough on a Sunday. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like, okay, you forget it's on because football's on, and then I've been watching them post football in between the 4 o'clock slate and the Sunday night game. I watch it during dinner. It's been pretty nice. But
It's fair. I do have one more thought.
Shoot.
One more thought. The end of that race when Carlos he didn't really kill his car, but when Carlos went out and they threw that VSC in there and slowed everybody down, that changed the end of this race dramatically. Max would have passed Charles, no question, like no doubt.
It did ruin that chase.
There was another chase that was tight. Oh gosh. Anyway, bad call on the VSC. I saw the replay on the POV from Carlos's car, and I was like, why they do that? That makes no sense.
It was the Oscar Ollie chase, is what you're thinking of as well.
Exactly.
Oscar was I think he finished. It says he was
2 seconds.
just
A second. 1.1.
Just over a second. So Oscar was closing in. I don't know if he had it in him to get him. It's a hard track to pass on, but I will say most impressive overtakes of this year. It's like an area where you're like, oh, there's not really room for a place for the overtake to really happen here. Then Oscar just
goes Oscar.
Absolutely puts his nuts on the floor and just goes nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that was a bummer. I'm rooting for Oscar so hard now. I was sick to my stomach seeing Lando get P1. I'm not gonna lie. So I would love to see Oscar bounce back in Brazil. Already in my head, I just think of Max in Brazil with all the crazy shit he's done there. So it makes me think it's going to be a Max clean sweep. We'll get into that next episode. But I'm really, really hoping the Aussie boy's not cracking under pressure because I didn't think it was possible. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if it's just like, dude, maybe they threw something in his car to ruin it, dude. Maybe they're putting some diesel in there. I don't know what's going on, but
he only drives on used tires.
That's what I'm saying. Like the pace is just weird to have vanished into thin air. So
track dependent. I think that track's gonna be great for them, not getting too deep into it. Seems to suit their car where it's been really good this year. Max is fast on that track.
But will it
another great atmosphere, another great track. It will be as awesome as it always is.
Yeah, and if there's even a flash of rain, I'm picking Max to win it. But
no doubt.
if it's dry, I think, oh, dude, I just want there to be carnage between the two orange cars, and I would love for Lando to think he's that guy, just to have Oscar overtake him in the first turn like he's been doing.
Tough.
So that'd be so tough. So tough, dude. Or he just gets pole and he just pulls away with it, which would be nice too.
Yeah.
Give Oscar a little joyride like Lando had the past, 2 races?
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm over it, dude. Okay. I guess I'll just on to the next one.
That's all we got. Keep up the help here with the views, the shares, the likes, everything. We appreciate it. And definitely sub.
Please, dude.
And then we will post a predictions video here next week and see what we got.
Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.